Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bound to Truth. This is your host, Chris Lopez. Hope everybody's having a great week here. It is Thursday or Friday Eve, almost through the week, the weekend. The weather's looking good, especially here in Washington. Looks like we're going to be having up to a mid to high 60s. So, guess what I did today? I started charging my motorcycle, getting ready to ride that bad boy to work, maybe do a little riding on Saturday. Really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's been a good week at work. Things are starting to settle down. Our new move, very excited. Building some great rapport with team members and clients, and just been very blessed, man. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. Very good. And then also some exciting stuff, regarding some people who reached me out on Facebook. I did a reach out to a bunch of people through my feed and through other groups, wanting to give an opportunity to share any paranormal, UFO experiences. With trying to build more of that interview, build a platform for all of you, to definitely have a voice, share your experience. Again, not alone, nothing embarrassing. Want to give people a voice, and even though small platform, it's still a platform to stand on. So I'm very proud so far. And you know what? It's been a good start so far. We started this podcast back in January, I believe mid-January, and so far got about 19 subscribers on Spotify. So thank you all for that. Recently put stuff on YouTube, so getting some YouTube views and listens, which has been great. Been very fortunate so far, and with this, and I just want to thank everybody being part of this and being involved. And just your feedback and your support has been just fantastic. And thank you again. And so wanted to start this week regarding some UAP reports that came up from the Pentagon, and then some fun little parts at the end regarding some shocking evidence. Aliens in Antarctica have been confirmed. Looks like there's been a Ratheyon person who's came out, and I'm not sure the person's name. I think they're kind of hidden, but who knows if that's true or not, but still fun to listen to. But before we begin, wanted to again let everybody know, please, we are on Spotify, Bound to Truth. You can reach us at Facebook, Bound to Truth. Email if you want to share any stories, thoughts, definitely your opinions. Feedback is always welcomed. boundtotruth34@gmail.com, and also newly on YouTube, Bound to Truth, and on X, Bound to Truth. And definitely hit subscribe. I'll definitely put some links up to make that easier for you to get to, and so forth. And also wanted to give a shout out to Randy. He did reach out to me through my reach out on Facebook to have people share their thoughts on experiences regarding paranormal, UFOs and such. And he has some fantastic stuff to share that we are going to do an official interview a week from today. And him and I had a great 2.5 hour conversation. He lives in Minnesota. Guy's awesome, full of energy, 64 years old guy, and I'm 42. And this guy is just rocking. He's also a musician, so we are definitely connected really well there, and so forth. So Randy, thank you very much. I look forward to our interview next week, and just very blessed and honored to definitely listen and to hear your experience, and look forward to share this platform as an additional part to your continued great work and your experiences. So today I got a few videos up that I will be sharing and putting on video. And the first one, like I said, I want to start off is regarding the new report by Pentagon, the UAP. 60 pages of a first volume of supposedly many to come. And honestly, it's pretty not shocking, but just an eye roller regarding the non-existence of any extraterrestrial NHI, even just the UFOs itself, and just a nothing burger. People don't know what the term nothing burger is. Just just a lot of BS, just this lip service BS. It's not even lip service. It's more of it's insulting service in regards to the response on the claims from David Grush back in June on News Nation with Ross Coulthart. And speaking of which, Ross Coulthart in this first video is going to give his comments regarding the Pentagon's report on UAP, stating has errors and falsehoods. Basically, the Pentagon's report on UAP say there's no evidence of alien life, and News Nation Ross Coulthart has discussed why he believes the Pentagon report on UAP was flawed. So let me get that video prepped up for you. Again, my famous narrative share. So I'm going to do my share screen, get that going. And let's see what this is here. Get this actually right here going. And share screen, please. There we go. And I'm going to start beginning. It's about a 5-minute clip. So hope you guys enjoy. And then we'll give some feedback on my thoughts on this. So here we go.
Pentagon report claims there's no evidence the U.S. government has ever encountered alien life, and most reported UFOs are misidentified ordinary objects. But journalists and experts who have spent their lives researching the subject say that's a bold-faced lie. The investigation was conducted by the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, and the report found no evidence the U.S. government has extraterrestrial technology. Investigative journalist and News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart joins us now. Ross, I know you have some strong feelings about this. You're saying AARO's report is a flat-out lie. You told our Chris Cuomo that this was all about putting a stake into the heart of continued conversation or investigation into the UAP mystery. So I'm curious, what specifically about this investigation do you believe was flawed?
Well, hello, Kelly. Good morning. Firstly, Congress mandated in legislation a history from 1945 of all of the key UAP UFO incidents in US history. That hasn't happened. What this report does is completely ignore a host of incidents, particularly ones where the military has actually investigated them, and especially ones involving UAPs seen over nuclear weapons facilities. And they've completely ignored the incident that actually kicked off the current wave of interest into the phenomenon, the 2004 Tic Tac incident off the west coast of the USA, and also the 2014-2015 incidents off the east coast. It's like these incidents never happened. And what's happened here, I think, is that the Pentagon has been so reactive to the allegation that it's involved in a conspiracy, it completely failed to do its job. And what they've produced in this report is essentially what we call in Australia a dog's breakfast. It's a complete shambles. It's full of errors. It's got falsehoods, it misrepresents incidents, and it completely ignores a whole series of incidents that are actually essential to an understanding of the history of this whole phenomena.
Well, I think you hit on it right there, Ross. You know, in terms of people feeding into these investigations, reporting their sightings, do you think this report will discourage people who have witnessed unexplained phenomena from coming forward and reporting those sightings?
No, in fact, I don't think the public's discouraged at all, Kelly. I think the Pentagon hopes that this is all going to go away and that with this report, they can stentorianly declare that it's all over and everybody should go back to their little homes and forget about UFOs. I don't think that's going to happen. And what's interesting here is Congress isn't going to forget it either. Congress has realized it's having the wool pulled over its eyes by people in the Pentagon and in private aerospace. And on both sides of the House, there's a determination to investigate because a lot of witnesses didn't go to the Pentagon. They actually didn't talk to AARO, the Pentagon's UFO investigation office. They spoke directly to the Congress. And they also testified to the intelligence community inspector general, who actually found the allegations of our interview, David Grush, to be credible. And Mr. Grush was alleging a crash retrieval program and a reverse engineering program hidden within the US government and private aerospace. And that was found to be credible by the Intelligence Community Inspector General. So somebody is lying. It's either the Pentagon or it's people to Congress, and it's the Intelligence Community Inspector General. I'm pretty sure I know who is lying, and I don't think the Pentagon's going to get away with it.
All right. So your claim that the Pentagon is lying to Congress, what are the potential repercussions if that turns out to be true?
Okay, this is very important. This is actually a constitutional issue now, Kelly, because under Executive Order 12333, laid down under President Reagan, it's actually illegal for the intelligence community to run a covert action, an influence operation, or a media campaign that's false to try and influence the mind of the American public. They're not allowed to run covert influence operations on American citizens. And I'm told that's exactly what they've done here. And Congress is going to investigate this. And there are people within the legacy program who want to come forward and give their evidence to Congress. I think we're going to see public hearings. I think we're going to see field hearings where senators and Congress people get out there and start asking hard questions. And more importantly, I think the public can smell a lie when they see one.
So there you go. Sounds like so, I put a lot of thought as much as I can into this in regards to this report by the Pentagon and their response to all these allegations regarding the UFO statement made by David Grush, and also the sightings that's happened back in 2004 and 2014. And that is funny. Coulthard made a good point that even in that report, that 60-page report, volume 1, didn't even mention those incidents. It's really kicked off a lot of the UFO phenomenon that's going on, especially back in 2017 by Leslie Kean in regards to that famous Tic Tac video in 2004. And if you heard Ross Coulthard talk about that rule of law that came in by Reagan, there is a lot at risk. In stating that, it's either basically one or the other. Either the whistleblower, David Grush, and others are going to be coming out in much more hearings with Congress, and the IG, Inspector General, are lying and face pretty much jail time, or the Pentagon's lying and they're going to face whoever involved in that jail time. It's like a high stakes of poker, and each one with the chips keeps raising each other. The question is, what's the deck look like? What's the cards look like? Who's got the higher hand? Who's got the more chips? If I just say who's got the more chips, it's going to be the Pentagon. I mean, they got unlimited resources, and they're putting out some definitely heavy propaganda when it comes to disinformation. Plus, they have a lot of the mainstream news media in their pocket as well, which is scary, right? Because you don't hear this in mainstream news media. The only time you really heard it is when Tucker Carlson was on Fox, and of course now he's not been on there for last 2-3 years, and he was the only one really talking about the UFOs and had guests like Luis Elizondo and so forth. He did, but during his independent channels, he did have David Grush on there, and this is after post Fox, and that's a great interview, which I encourage people to pull up on YouTube as well. But like I said, a lot of double down. And what's interesting too, you see there's definitely a fight between the military industrial complex and Congress. I mean, it is interesting. You're saying like a bit of a civil war between the government inside there. And thank God, and I'm hoping this is true, that there is still good people in the government, in Congress, that are saying this is just total sus and total garbage, especially when they're calling out the report. I mean, that was such a, like he said, a reactive report that came out just to disprove all these allegations. And what's funny too, it doesn't even give any it just gives a summary of their stuff. Doesn't give any details of witnesses and comments of where they're getting this information and where they're coming up with these. But hey, I guess in volume 2 is going to have more of that. To me, I think this volume 1 part, quote volume 1, is just going to try to buy more time to come up with some more other BS in regards to that. Partially could be true, but again, a half truth is a whole lie. And so again, very, very interesting on what the next steps and what's going to move forward and when and how soon, and even how many Congress hearings are going to come out. And hopefully we'll see some more whistleblowers come out following David Grush's footsteps that actually have firsthand. And that's reports that there is witnesses are supposed to be coming out who have had firsthand on the programs that's going on regarding this UFO tech and these non-human intelligence beings. Now, the next clip I'm going to play is also back with Ross Coulthart. And this right here, let me get this up here. This one is, let's see. We're seeing this with Daniel Sheehan on the reporting to Arrow to Dr. Kirkpatrick. So basically, News Nation's Ross Coulthart again. Ross, you're gonna hear a lot of Ross on here. Questions whether the Pentagon's newly released report on UAPs reflects the truth, saying it is part of a cover-up that unconstitutionally misleads the public and denies the existence of a covert retrieval program alleged by whistleblower David Grush. So let me go ahead and get that video pulled up here. I had to do some splits here. So let me get that. Again, I am kind of slow and I did get off work. So let's do this. Do my share screen again. And oops. Hold on. And okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna rewind that a little bit. Do my share screen. Okay. And here we go.
When the opportunity came with the creation of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, did you go to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick at the Arrow, the Pentagon's UFO investigation office, as a first-hand direct witness? Did you provide that information to Arrow of what you'd seen?
I did. I absolutely did. I was talking with Chris Mellon about this, and Chris said, look, he's going to contact Sean Kirkpatrick directly and take the position that Sean needs to interview me. And so I got contacted by Dr. Fitzpatrick and asked to go.
Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick said as recently as last Friday in the report that was written to Congress that no direct first-hand evidence with knowledge of a retrieval program was provided to Arrow. What he says in that document, under oath presumably to Congress or under some prescription about telling the truth, what he says to Congress is the complete opposite of what you're telling me now here today.
That's true. That's true. No, he was told personally because he's the one that conducted the interview of me. And I gave him all the exact same...
I don't want to drag you into a defamation case, Danny, but this is a very, very important point. There are obligations on officers of the state, people acting under congressional rule legislation. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick was operating according to law, tasked by statute of Congress to prepare a truthful and accurate report. Now, I'm asking you, did Dr. Kirkpatrick lie when he gave you, did Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick lie when he made the assertion that there was no direct first-hand witness evidence provided to Arrow of a crash retrieval?
I provided him under oath the exact same information that I've given to you. And the question is whether he was taking some weird position that, well, that was a photograph and it wasn't on site, but I didn't lay my hands on the crap. And I could tell from the way the report was written, it was kind of wiggle language of trying to pretend that somehow they had no direct evidence. But if from a court of law, as a 50-year practicing attorney from Harvard Law School, I can tell you that is direct admissible firsthand testimony about the fact that there is direct visual photographic evidence of a crash retrieval program directly being undertaken by government officials. And he knows that it existed.
So, sir, I need to get an express statement from you. Yeah. What is your position about the truthfulness of Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick in the evidence he gave last week to Congress?
I think that it was a transparent, willful, conscious lie. Just like Project Blue Book was. Absolutely. And I know that.
So you're accusing an officer of the government. You're accusing somebody who's been statutorily tasked by Congress to prepare a report. You're saying that that particular official, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, lied categorically to the Congress.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop that there. That is just an example prior to the last video about the repercussions of lying under oath. And if you guys don't know who Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick was, he was the one who was running Arrow last year. He only did it for a year to investigate the phenomenon that has been taken, I guess, supposedly seriously. Again, to me, it's another form of Project Blue Book. And if you guys don't know what Project Blue Book was, that was back during after pretty much Roswell, to investigate the UFO phenomenon, to try to see if there's any substance to the matter. But the funny thing is that Project Blue Book was more of just to find ways to disinformation it, to share that it doesn't exist. I do kind of find it funny when Ross had to really ask that question to attorney Daniel Sheehan, which is kind of funny because he's representing Luis Elizondo, who used to run the HIP program prior to Arrow, which is similar in regards to the UFO, but how he kind of had to pull teeth to get him to basically say, basically accuse him of pretty much lying, which I thought was kind of a little funny. He was given this long lawyer answer and finally gave the answer in pretty much, yeah, he's pretty much lying. But that's just an example of what's going on. A lot of the chips are again, there's a lot of stakes, there's a lot of raises in this poker game here. But anyways, that is just one of many examples talking about what's going on in this UAP report, and how things are just getting really muddied and watered down. And it's still an uphill battle, but so thank God, as long as we all keep pushing, especially encouraging our Congress members, our government leaders, to keep pushing, and everybody to contribute, either starting a podcast like I'm doing, building a voice, reach our Facebook. We'll keep our legs strong to keep climbing that hill and eventually get to that top. So, but anyways, I thought that was a great video to kind of show as an example of that, of what the repercussions of lying is. And again, a lot of stakes are high. A lot of it's basically who's going to call the bluff is really what it is. And hopefully we'll be able to call that bluff and get the truth in the heart of the matter. And so the next one I want to share with you here, I'm debating on sharing this one, but I might do it since I already have it, is in addition to the Pentagon's UAP report, looks like that the Pentagon is also started reporting that includes a new system called the Gremlin system, which is called a deployable surveillance system that can be used when there are reports of identified objects. The agency has denied any evidence of secret UFO retrieval program, but not everyone is buying it. Same thing. But I'm still looking into more what this quote Gremlin system is. I'm going to start this video from beginning to end. Hopefully that'll enlighten a little bit. I'm not sure if it's going to give any satisfaction of substance to what this Gremlin system is, but hey, I'm going to play it, and I'm hoping people can definitely give their thoughts and maybe help me dig more into it, and just really kind of get some more insight. Again, love to hear your voice on this video especially. So let me go ahead. I'm going to prop that up and get that playing.
After months of anticipation, the Pentagon poured cold water over the thought that we might not be alone. The new Pentagon report claims there is no evidence the U.S. government has ever encountered alien life and says most reported UFOs are actually misidentified ordinary objects. But journalists and experts who have spent their lives researching the subject say that's a lie. Let's bring in News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton, who is live. And Brian, you now have the transcript of this meeting, the AARO report about this report. News Nation kept out of that meeting. What new have you learned?
Yeah, Nicole, Arrow, that is the part of the Pentagon that now investigates these UFOs. So they released a report, you remember, at the end of last week saying that there's no secret UFO program, but they also had this meeting with members of the media where they answered questions and went even further. Legacy media, Washington Post, CNN, they were let in for some reason.
By the way, I wanted to correct myself. So it looks like the legacy media, what they call legacy media, meaning the typical norm, the big news mediums, Washington Post, CNN, all those channels. Those are the ones you're not hearing regarding these reports. So it's interesting how these were selected and that the freedom of public press wasn't used, and especially in this very historical moment. To me, how I look at it is I call it a psyop with our own press, just to try to create more disinformation and how to really water this down. So it's really really, I don't know if it's interesting, highly sus. Heck, I'm gonna call out and say total BS. Our legacy media is sleeping with these dark government entities that are out there, and it's just really, really sad. But again, call it conspiracy all you want, but if it's not conspiracy, why don't you just invite everybody in? It's ridiculous. And by the way, side note here, asking the Pentagon to investigate this matters and being called out for hiding stuff and having to investigate themselves who are accused of hiding stuff. It's like asking a murderer to investigate their own murder. It's really, really stupid. It's mind-boggling. It's totally Twilight Zone ridiculousness. Anyways, I wanted to kind of pause and share that thought with everybody here. But here, I'm going to continue on. Here we go.
They would not let News Nation into this meeting. So we weren't able to be there and know what was said. I did finally just get the transcript, though, which is very, very interesting. Obviously, in it, they continue to say, look, there's no secret crash retrieval program. We did this very, very in-depth investigation. But there was something new in this transcript that I hadn't heard about yet. They talk about something called the Gremlin system. This is a new system, according to Arrow, that they now have. The director called it a deployable surveillance system that they've been developing for the last year, a configurable sensor suite that can be put in Pelican cases. And essentially what this is some kind of new system that the Pentagon has put together that they can actually deploy when they get reports about a UFO or something unidentified. They say they can send this system out very, very quickly. It has sensors on it where they can gather information about whatever has been found that's unidentified, whether it's in the air, whether it's in space, or even underwater. So that's something new that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
So put a pause here. This system, this Gremlin system they invented, I kind of find it funny. If there's nothing to investigate and it's not real, what's the point of this system? And if they invented this system, how they know how to, I don't know. Again, I'm not a technician. I'm not some engineer, but I try to use common sense as much as possible. Is how do you know what you're looking for if you're not understanding the phenomenon? And if it doesn't exist, what's to investigate? So again, a head scratcher to me. Again, love to hear your thoughts.
And Brian, regardless of what you believe, I don't know that it's really a surprise that Arrow says they found no evidence of a secret UFO program, but there are already insiders who are pushing back.
Yeah, there are, of course, because there's a lot of people in this space who believe that even high levels of the government don't know about this secret program. So it makes sense to them that Arrow, this part of the Pentagon, would not have been able to find out the information. And they are pushing back. In fact, there's one man who says he gave information to Arrow. You're going to hear from him coming up in the next hour. And there's others questioning, like, how in depth was this report really? It didn't take that long for them to put together. And again, in this new transcript we got, they were pressed about, well, how many people worked on the report? From what departments did they come from? How many months were you investigating? And they wouldn't answer any of those specific questions, which leaves some people skeptical about really how much work went into all of this.
Yeah, and also again, they wouldn't let us into that meeting. So Brian, obviously we're always looking forward, looking ahead. What happens next? Is the government going to continue to investigate, or is this possibly it?
Well, Arrow says they will continue to investigate. They say that they get more than 100 cases every single month from different branches of the military and from civilians too, about things that they've seen, that they go out and investigate to determine whether or not they are in fact UFOs. So they say they're going to stay on it. And then you've still got whistleblowers behind the scenes. I mean, we know about whistleblowers who have yet to come forward, but still have plans to speak out, who say, look, there is something secret going on in the government. And perhaps they're going to be even more anxious to come forward now that this report has come out, because it's got some people very, very angry that the government was so quick to say, hey, nothing to see here.
Yeah, a lot of people do not believe that. I guess we'll just put it that way. All right, Brian, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to.
All right, so there you go. Some other additional information regarding that system being in place, in addition to the UAP report from the Pentagon by Arrow. So definitely, what do you guys think about that? Played a few of those videos. Definitely want to get your thoughts. And do you believe that, hey, the government's telling the truth? There is nothing to see here. Nothing to see, even though we're picking legacy media. Nothing to see, even though we have this Gremlin system that can detect phenomenon that we don't understand. But hey, it's not real. That's my summary of what I'm hearing. But again, love to hear your thoughts and get your perspective. I'm open to hear the counter argument of that, or hey, if you agree with me or not. So definitely reach out to me. Definitely reach out, email, share those opinions, share those thoughts. Definitely, this is an open book channel. And the last one, just for a little fun, maybe not, fun, could be true, could be not, could be fantastical, is regarding shocking evidence. Aliens in Antarctica been confirmed. So in Antarctica, a secret alien base has been found, and today we will try to figure out if it's true and aliens are already on Earth, or if it is fiction and alien conspiracies. This one's a little bit fun. I'm going to play it. This video is from the channel Laney and Ben. So this is supposed to be claimed from a person in the insider Ratheyon that we do have bases in Antarctica. Now, for me, as a person who's been always interested in the subject with the paranormal and UFOs, the theory about Antarctica having potential alien bases is nothing new to me over the years, because it's something I've always looked into. If you look at, I think it's Project Skyjump with Admiral Byrd regarding ships going to Antarctica, a global effort with, I think, the United Kingdom, the United States. I'm not sure if Canada was involved in too. That supposedly after World War II, there was German refugee or Nazis who were heading out to Antarctica to kind of regroup themselves there, and they had some secret bases. And then what happened is the theory is that, or the rumor is that all these ships that we sent down there got pretty much dismantled. What they're claiming supposedly are saucers that came out and just pretty much ripped them a new one. But again, that's one out of many different stories about Antarctica. And also a fact by Antarctica, there's a lot of places there are no-fly zones out in that area. So, and it's also a global contract with all the government worlds that nobody can claim any areas of Antarctica, and it's just pretty much stay the hell off. And why is that? Heck, there's theories about potential pyramids and even islands, or not islands, habitable zones that are like tropical. So again, that can be fantastical, but the stories about Antarctica are always interesting and entertaining for me. I mean, Do I believe it? Maybe some of it, not. Some of it I can see possibly. Some of it a little too fantastical, but hey, the truth is stranger in fiction. But anyways, I'm gonna play this video and here we go.
We not just had confirmation that there is some kind of underground military base in Antarctica that might.
Actually, I'm gonna pause that. I actually had it saved to a certain spot and I lost that, so it looks like. So give me a second here. And I think it is 7. Let me see. I hope you're all enjoying my, what do you call it? Play-by-play. No, not there. And here we go.
Already convinced. There has been a whistleblower that goes by the name Eric Hacker. Now, he is a contractor for
Okay, I think it's Eric Hacker, the Ratheyon person. So here you go.
the military weapons company that goes by the name Ratheyon. Okay, they went on a mission to the South Pole. Now, Ratheyon, for anyone that doesn't know, I've got the Wikipedia page here. The Ratheyon company was a major U.S. defense contractor and industrial corporation with manufacturing concentrations in weapons and military and commercial electronics. It was previously involved in the corporate and special missions aircraft until early 2007. Ratheyon was the world's largest producer of guided missiles. So they've got a huge background in military weaponry, guided missiles, and things like this. In April 2020, the Ratheyon company merged with United Technologies Corporation to form Ratheyon Technologies, which changed its name to RTX Corporation in 2023. Now, this company was established in 1922, reincorporated in 1928, and adopted the Ratheyon company name in 1959. During 2018, the company had around 67,000 employees worldwide. Goes on to talk about other big numbered things. Anyway, there's a bit of background on Ratheyon. Now, this man, Eric Hacker, he was a contractor, like I've said, for this company. They went to the South Pole to go to one of their facilities, which basically harbors some of the biggest testing weaponry that they've got. Take a little listen to what this man has to say, because this might be the final nail in the coffin.
Hello, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, members of the press. I'm very happy that you're giving me this attention and this information attention because it needs to get out to the world. I will start, since we have to be brief. I have already given all pertinent information and supporting documentation to the Senate Intelligence Committee and Arrow. They informed me that all of...
I know it said Arrow as in A-R-R-O-W, like the Q Arrow, but it means Arrow as in A-A-R-O, the corporation that looks into, not corporation, but the section that looks into these UAP findings. Anyway, moving on.
My information will be recorded for public record and shared with Congress. It is that important. In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Ratheyon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I functioned in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each. That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster than light vehicles moving throughout the system, we're going to need faster than light communications.
By the way, before I let Eric Hacker continue, Gary McKinnon just a side note, he's the one who believed during Obama's term hacked from Great Britain, and he's supposedly like a high functioning autistic person, hacked into the government system. I'm not sure which form of government. Again, it could be Pentagon, DOD, NSA, and was actually looking for UFO and aliens. And he found some interesting reports. And so during that time, when he was found out about by the U.S. government, they pushed very hard to get him extradited to the United States. And of course, that did not happen. I'm not sure how Gary is doing today. From my understanding, he did not get extradited, but I believe he's still in a way wanted by the U.S. government if he was ever to step on U.S. soil. But definitely encourage you guys to pull Gary McKinnon up. Guy is pretty smart. His interview is very, very interesting. But continue on.
This is that facility.
Now, we've spoken about this already in a previous video about, how we had communications back in 2019 with an alien civilization, supposedly. There was, I believe it was around 12 light years away or 11 light years away. But to avoid the road bumps of taking 11 years to transmit and then receive a message, they found a new way of delivering messages, which is a very technical thing, but it's possible.
Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now and what Ratheyon's hiding. There's an ELF system at the South Pole Station that when I arrived, I was told it was off, dismantled, and completely defunct. In my work, I will rapidly just tell you, I had to figure out the circuitry for certain other repairs, and I found that this system is in fact completely energized, up and running, and being utilized with the other systems for nefarious purposes as well. The Atmospheric Research Observatory is in what we call the clean air sector. I witnessed myself a very powerful green laser shooting out of the top of this facility into the cosmos. This, I believe, is a secondary form of long-range communications and or a defense system.
Now, these green lasers have been witnessed in places like Turkey, especially. I covered it in a very recent video as well. And you can literally see these green beams of light from different angles just kind of shooting. I thought it was from the sky down. After reading the comments, it definitely comes from the ground up, and then the light disperses through the clouds.
I am not saying that we need to be scared of anything that's out there, but please understand the military-industrial complex is happy to invest all of your money in alleviating their fears. The question of power comes into play for all of these facilities that are present. I assure you, I knew what was going on. I knew the load demands of the facility, and all of these new items exceed the demand for the systems that I was presented. I'm doing due diligence and research. I believe there is either a secondary power supply there that is either nuclear, that was there prior to the start of the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits such things, and or that there is some sort of exotic power supply system there that just is not in the verbiage of the treaty, so it negates the responsibility to the parties involved.
Well, if that doesn't confirm that there's something incredibly strange going on in Antarctica, I don't know what will.
So yeah, that is from Ratheyon whistleblower Eric Hecker. Excuse me, I thought he was a hidden whistleblower, but definitely out there. I mean, he's actually on video, so I'm definitely encourage everybody to get their thoughts about that, research that a little bit more. What do you think about that? Are we, taking technology and using it weaponized to use it to start earthquakes? Did we cause those earthquakes in New Zealand? Gosh, when I was hearing that, I kind of thought this movie, The Core, which is about how the Earth's the Earth stopped inside. It basically, what is it? It stopped rotating and basically it stopped. How do I explain it? It's where the Earth inside, the engine of it, the Earth, the mantle stopped spinning, and all this issues regarding causing electrical storms and all this things are happening around the world because of a weapon called Destiny that was supposed to cause earthquakes all around the world against enemy adversaries. So it reminds me of that movie. But you know what's funny? Maybe that movie was inspired because of these things that are happening in Antarctica. You know, sometimes movies share a little bit of a fact. You know, these fictional movies. Who knows? Hey, call me out if I'm crazy. You know, like, I'm totally down for that. But anyways, so to sum up tonight, basically we covered the UAP reports that came out. What's your thoughts? Again, you believe what the government's saying about it, the Pentagon, or you think it's all huff and fluff and full of garbage, nothing burger? So we covered that. We covered the example of that with Ross Coulthart with attorney Daniel Sheehan regarding his report to arrow Dr. Kirkpatrick as an example of supposedly hiding the truth and the repercussions that could happen for lying under oath. You know, what do you think? You know, is the people who are coming out lying, or is the government and the Pentagon lying? A lie again. It's a big poker game right now. Whose chips are gonna stand? Who's gonna win the all-in game here? Then also we just covered regarding the Gremlin system that we talked about that's supposed to detect these aerial phenomena objects that I guess we know how to, this technology we have invented that can detect not just air, but water-based aerial phenomenons, which again, how does that work if we don't know what we're trying to cover or investigate? We invented something that I guess we don't know what that is, but somehow we invented something that can target it again. I'm not an engineer. You guys, please love to hear your thoughts on how that works. And of course, about the Antarctica claim by Eric Hecker from Ratheyon. So, hey, wanted to give that out to you guys for the week. Hope this is fun, helpful, useful information. Again, love to get your guys' thoughts. Please do email me at boundtotruth34@gmail.com if you want to leave a comment, give me your thoughts, if you want to hear other subjects in the episode, and definitely subscribe to our Spotify at Bound to Truth, and then also on YouTube. Hit us up on X and on Facebook, again, all Bound to Truth. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Love to get more listeners. And again, this is not just about gathering listeners. This is about building a stronger platform for everybody to have voices on. And I want to thank everybody who's really reached out this week. Again, like I said earlier, beginning of the show, it was a lot more than I thought regarding comments and responses. And, you know, really encourage you guys to definitely want to be in the interview. Would love to talk before that to definitely get your story and then see about an interview. Or if you want to be anonymous and just, you know, want me to share a story without giving a name, that's fine too. Whatever helps get those things out and really share your thoughts and beliefs. You know, you're not alone. Don't feel silly. Don't feel afraid. You know, you have a right to voice your experiences, to voice your beliefs. You know, you have a right to share those things. You know, we live in a very, very big universe, not just a planet, but a big universe that we're all part of. And again, yeah, so please definitely reach out to me on top of that. And the next episode, still working on some ideas. Either going to talk about Bob Lazar or something else. Not too sure yet for this Sunday that I'm going to start pulling up the show. But anyways, wanted to put that out tonight for the week. Hope this helps get you through the weekend. Want everybody to stay safe. God bless. Don't work too hard. And enjoy the evening. Talk to you later.